Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. How's everybody in the world today? Good morning, good evening in your time. So that's my intro. I try to do that on my live streaming. Okay. So hello. So before we start, I would like to make a love shout out to all my members, especially for those two persons who rejoined my membership join button, the LTC friends and LTC family, no other than Gary's Kitchen and of course Mike with Com. So I really appreciate guys for your time and effort to rejoin on my LTC family and LTC friends. And make a love shout out to all my new subscribers who subscribed my channel and to all my new viewers here in the Philippines and also in USA and India. Okay, India. So for Indian people, I really appreciate your time watching my show. So imagine, guys, you can't really expect because the last time I checked my analytics, three countries always watch my show. Of course, number one, Philippines. Number two is United States. And number three is Vietnam. So now, more people watching in India than in Vietnam. Before I start my discussion and the content that I want to discuss with you guys, uh, I will announce this for those new to my channel. For those wants to have a range, especially for those bloggers, okay, all you have to do just join my LTC family, LTC friends, LTC supporters, or LTC team. Once you're part of my membership, you will receive a range. And there's another option for that, okay? Because once you're part of my LTZ or my membership, you have to pay that monthly. So there's another option. If you click that dollar sign, and I will give you a range for that. As simple as that. And for those, later, for those who wants to join to my live panel after the discussion, I will post the link and you will join to my live panel. But for those people that wants to uh, make fun of my channel, if you're not, sure about yourself, don't go on my live panel, okay? Because I'm gonna share this for those people who wants to share their opinion about the subject that I'm going to discuss later on. And for those people, you will allowed to share your opinion or ideas, but you have to base on the subject so that we don't uh, like something that some people, especially on the live chat, they make their own content. So we don't want to uh, make our own uh, content for that. Okay, so you have to base on the comment on the topic that I'm discuss. Okay, so for those people that wants to come on my live streaming, I have nothing against with that. Okay, but most important thing that I will warning you guys, behave. So if you cannot control yourself to behave, then you're not welcome to my live panel, because some people sometimes they out of control. So you're not, if you can able to control yourself, especially your mouth. Okay. So I think I will, I will give you consideration for that. So we don't want to make our, especially my show, we don't want to end up bad vibes or negative vibes at the end of my show. So we have to practice sharing good vibes to everyone. Give smile, big smile. Don't give us a frown face. Okay. So I try my best, and I try my best, to give you guys a big smile. Okay. But like I said, be aware of your behavior. Go to my channel, because here's my thought process. I don't really mind, I don't really mind to welcome you and my show if you're not welcome to other show, as long as you follow my rules, and you have to control yourself, especially your mouth, and you have the presence of mind to follow my rules and behave. Behave. Okay. So we just wait for a few no a few minutes, and then I'm gonna starts to discuss. Anyway, the weather here in the Philippines is pretty good. Well, a lot of people victim of typhoon Christine, and especially for those area outside Metro Manila and Metro Manila, they started to clean their house and fix something that Bagyong Christine or Typhoon Christine destroyed. And but sad to say that some of people, they're totally washed out their home. So until now they're still uh, living in, in the evacuation center, that it takes a weeks, and I watched the local news that we expected another. I hope it will not form into a typhoon. Okay, so how many minutes? Okay, so we're gonna start 17. So we just wait for 3 minutes more. So now here today, the weather is very, very sunny. Okay. So this is the right time, to dry some all the clothes that wet during the Typhoon Christine. So, well, there's some casualties, especially in Antipolo City, because the cause of their death is the landslide. So that's kind of a that's kind of a scary. You're free, your place is free for for flood, but it's not really free for landslide. So it's Monday here in the Philippines, 7 a.m. So this is afternoon or nighttime in the West. So the subject for today, so I'll just share some few ways, to correct your husband without hurting his ego. Okay. And one thing, guys, that if there's a rain here, well, the connection of internet and some of the places, it's black out or brown out. So, well, I'm so grateful that on my place there's no flood, there's no blackout. Everything is okay. But some area here that they're not okay. Okay, so it's already 17. So let's start our discussion. Ways to correct your husband without hurting. Number one, lower your voice. Don't shout at him. He is not your child, although sometimes he act like a child, but yes, you can correct him in a minimum volume of your tone. Okay, because this is what I notice about, especially for those Western women, particularly black women. They're not really the type of women that they can control the volume of their tone as much as they can talk to their husband, or well, I'm not saying, okay, let me clarify, I'm not saying all, okay, I'm not generalized, but majority they are. So they just they have no control about the volume of their tone. Okay, so that's one thing they have to avoid that. Okay, so lower your voice. It's just like vice versa, guys, also for men. Lower your voice, because that's the thing that you can still show respect to your partner, whether your husband or wife. Okay, so I'm not this talking about for husband, so you're gonna reverse that for for husband or wife. Number two, do it in love. What does it mean? Correct should be done in love. Remember, your husband is the human too. He makes mistake, and so are you. Okay, so it's just like, if there's something that disagreement. Sometimes some wife, some husband, they have ego that, oh wait, it's your fault. I don't want. So they just waiting. Which one is gonna who go first say sorry. So you don't have to show that I'm the superior, I'm the husband, I'm the one who bring money, or of course the wife also don't show that you are superior with each other. So you have to show some love. Okay, because each of us, okay, you're telling me a lie if you're not commit mistake, guys. We all commit mistake, okay? Especially if you're husband and wife, okay? You don't have to show something that, oh, you're degrading him or you're degrading her. So you have to show, do it with love. If you say sorry, that you can really shows on your eyes, on your face, that you're sincerely sorry for him or sorry for her. Don't say that, okay, I'm sorry. It's easy to say sorry, but you don't really show, your face that you're sincere to say sorry, because it will not work. And then let's proceed to number three. Never ever criticize your husband in a public or in front of your friends. Well, sometimes, some women, if they're really upset with their husband, they don't really care who's the who's on the place that where the husband is standing or sitting. As much as they can, they don't. So don't. Okay, it's the same, it's the same way with the husband. Don't ever, especially for Filipina. Okay, for Filipina, because that's one thing that it's really, it's really hurtful for us. Even though that we commit mistake or it's our fault, okay, but don't show that you're scolding us, especially in the public area. Oh my god, it's really cuts a Filipino's heart or crush Filipino's heart for that. You can bring that, you can bring that at home, okay. Okay, stop criticizing him, especially in front of your friends or family. That is very degrading to men. Rather correct in love, just whisper with gently hug. Most will say it's constructive criticism, but men have egos too. Their self-esteem are easy to break down. Correction is the act of offering better options. Correction is a criticism are never the same. So I hope that somebody will go to my show and hear what I'm saying so that they will understand what I'm trying to share. So that's very important. Okay, so let's proceed. Number 4. Let's cut the saying whatever or my husband or my wife says. So it's just like, here's the thing that it's just like I understand that when it comes to Western people, particularly American, when you say that if there's a disagreement and you say at the end of this agreement whatever, that it really it really them upset when you say whatever. But for us, for Filipino, it's just like, oh, whatever, it's just like that's the end of the discussion, or they don't want to talk. Okay, so here's the explanation for that. You are not the boss, and so does your husband. Okay, so every discussion should be talked and planned with the both of you. Okay, if he said your cooking is a little salty, never walk out of the table. Instead, apologize and offer other options. Give him sugar instead, and improve your cooking by watching cooking videos on the YouTube. Okay, that's the thing that sometimes. Here's the thing that you especially if you're start a new. Okay, I'm gonna specific this, especially for those for those newlywed. Of course, the wife try their best to prepare food for the husband. Okay, that's the good thing, that okay, appreciate. And then it don't show that it's just like you don't want to try it, and then like the statement that I said, that you have to say something that it won't really hurt the ego of your husband or the ego of your wife, and do something that you can advise. Okay, next time I think it's better to put something like this so it won't really taste salty, or puts a little water, or other option to make the food better. But don't it shows that you just eat and then leave, and then you don't say nothing, because she tried her best, he tried her best to prepare food for you, so you must be appreciate. But sometimes women, or sometimes men, they don't really appreciate that, especially if the men or women, they never experience cooking. So once they have a family or starts family, of course there's a hardship for that, but they try their best to learn something so that she can or he can also impress their wife or their husband. Okay. And number five, because I'll just address this to all husband or to all men, but you can reverse the situation. Okay, because sometimes not only husband need for that, because we also women, we have ego also, so you have to learn yourself not to hurting. Okay, so number five, praise him for his accomplishments. If there's puts in the curtain rod straight on your wall decor perfect angle, appreciate that you know how meticulous they are, and then when it comes to putting wall decor, they really means business when you request them to do that with all use of measuring tapes and torpedo level in rollers. An extra appreciation make him love you more. So yeah, not only not only the example putting the curtain rod on on the wall or the window. It's just like do something that especially if you're not really doing, if he's not really doing your cooking, and especially if you're busy, and then appreciate your husband, prepare food, appreciate your sometimes like I said, if he's not really into the cooking, so appreciate, because sometimes we don't, sometimes women is not as good as men when it's come to preparing food. So women are very, very perfectionist when it comes to preparing food. Some men they do, but it's not like, well, women are, are the queen of the kitchen. So if your husband try his best, to do something, then appreciate, okay? Appreciate. So that's the best thing that you can, you can give to your husband. Appreciate. Even though that you don't like the food, you don't like the food, appreciate the effort, okay? The effort, the yeah, just prepare for you, okay? And same also with the with the wife, okay? Prepare food, okay? Things that you want, and because we don't really have the same taste, so it's just like for me, example, for me that tastes good, but when it comes to the other person, oh, this is kind of a salty, or what do you call that, mataba. I don't know what's less. So that's that's the good thing, that you don't have to you just paranoid about that, okay? Because especially when your wife or husband do an effort, you appreciate the effort that he made or she made for you. As simple as that. Okay. So, number six, guys, okay, don't do it in front of your children. Yeah, that's very important. Hi, hello, Liz. Hello. Thank you for watching and thank you for coming. So that's the important, guys, especially, especially for those, for those parents, okay? If there's an argument, guy, especially when you drop cursing words, oh my God, don't. Especially for those toddler, they're just very quiet, guys. But you don't really know it's already programmed on their mind. And then one day you surprise that your daughter or your son saying that to you, because that's what they hear from you guys. So avoid things that in front of your children. So if you don't have children, that's okay, because nobody here except you and her, or except you and him. So that's avoid that. Avoid correcting your husband in presence of your children. Incessant correction of your husband in front of your children will make them disrespect him. Remember, he is the head of your household. Okay, so this kind of thing, it's really work here in the Philippines. No matter what, husband or the dad or the father, whatever you call that, is just like, no matter what, okay, or the downfall that they had in life, they're still the head of the family. But here's the thought process that I will address this. It never worked this in the States, okay? It never works. Some they do, but especially for those, guys, don't think that I'm attacking for those, for those black women, okay? I'm not, because that's what I see and that's what I heard from, from some of my black friend. Okay, so this kind of situation, this kind of comment, it not really work, because if you're nothing, if you cannot bring money to the table, or if you cannot bring money to their pocket, you're a piece of s for them. So there's no respect there. So that's why it's so different, especially for those children that they have father image and mother image, than the children grows just only their mother or just only their father. There's way different, guys. There's way different. Sometimes they said that, the husband, if it's single dad, they said that, oh, he can do like a mother. No, it's not. They can do indeed, but the situation that you're gonna, there's a certain, there's a certain things that a man cannot do with a woman talking with their children, at the same time also with the husband. The mother cannot do. They can do, but the feelings that, it's so hard to explain, guys, because me, I, well, I'm grown with mother and father, so it's really different, guys. So there's a certain things that, especially that if we ask permission with our mother, that we know to ourselves that, oh, if we're gonna ask to my mom, she will allow us. But in a Filipino family, the mother cannot really tell us, they cannot really decide. So the the last word that we gonna wait is the father. Okay, if it's okay for mother, and then the mother cannot say, oh, especially that time that my mother always tell us, there's nothing wrong with me, but you have to ask permission with your dad. If your dad okay, then you can go. If your dad will say no, you have to respect that. So it's just like it still work here in the Filipino family. Okay, it's still, that's our culture, guys. But in the West, some, I'm not really generalize that, but some is no longer work for that, especially for those black people that, especially women, that if you don't have money, then you're kicked out of the house. It's not, it's not really work for that. So that's why that's why I think that, women, why they act like black women, why they act like that, they need six figures. If you're not 6 footers, or if you're not, if you're not earn like, how much they said that, if you're 50,000 a year, you're dusty and broke, because that's what they learn from their mother. I'm not saying all black mother are like that, but majority they are. So they don't really give value the right of a man. Okay? But here in the Philippines, guys, no. We really respect our, our husband, or, the father. Okay, so next. So again, I'm gonna say this: avoid correcting your husband in the presence of your children. Incessant correction of your husband in front of your children will make them disrespect him. Remember, he is the head of your family household. Yeah. And number seven, guys, don't correct him in the public. Oh my God, that's really no, no. It's really no, no. Don't correct him in the public. Just sometimes, people when they upset, they don't really care if it's in the public. They can say whatever they want to say because they're upset. So sometimes, we people, it's a must to control our emotion, especially if the person that we encounter is our husband or wife, because that's the start of the relationship. It starts to might if you're too much doing that, we call that in Tagalog, uh masyadong pinahiya, your husband or your wife. They starts not to like you. Don't be surprised if one day your wife or your husband will tell you, "This is over. I don't want to deal with you. I want to file a divorce. I want to file an annulment for you," because they cannot really take that. It's just like you give them reason not to like you anymore. So it's just like the relationship is no longer excited, or it's no longer exciting. Okay, that's the correct term. It's no longer exciting, and they start not to like you if you keep doing that, especially in the public, especially for those Western people. If you marry to a Filipina, or it's just like for those Western women married to a Filipino man, don't ever do that in public. Don't. You can bring that. Okay, just control your emotion, bring that to the house, but you have to do that without the presence of your children, because they gonna shows that, especially if you're too much scolding with your husband, it really shows that your children, you give them reason not to respect their father. So avoid things like that. Number Okay. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so don't correct him in the public. Avoid correcting your husband in public. It does not show you are the virtuous woman. It will affect his self-esteem. If you do, then in a public, you will look like a mad dog without breeding. Yeah, that's true. Okay, imagine, guys, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do that in public with your husband. Okay, correct him. It's just like I don't, because me, I never experienced that. I never experienced that. Sometimes when I look at that women are do that, I just shake my head and oh my God, it's so I don't want, because it never happens to me that, it never happens to me, especially with my parents. They just gone in the world, but I never experienced things like that. Okay. So if you're not be part, if you're not called by the mad dog without breathing, so don't do that to your husband, or don't do that to your wife, correcting him or her in public. Okay, so remember that, guys. So you're gonna be a mad dog without breathing. Let me drink my juice. Yes, okay. Number 8. avoid correcting in anger. Okay, this is very common. It doesn't matter where you from. This is very common for those couple that they correcting with anger. So that's the ego. Each ego were clash. Clash. Okay, stop correcting your husband in anger, shouting, ranting, beating, making trouble. Never push your husband to the point of him to fight back and protect himself from rascal act of yours. By doing that, you are alike adding kerosene on the burning house. Instead, invite him for a walk, hold his hand, and talk about the problem. Is that you get it, guys? Okay, so yeah, that's one thing that, in a marriage life, sometimes if you're not really, especially for those, for those men that they married to a younger wife. So there's a certain things that you cannot really relate on them because of the age gap. Okay. So it's more often that, young wife, they cannot really relate on that. They're more onto the anger thing. So if you see that you with your wife or with your usually if some like Filipina, they marry also a young man. Okay, stop, stop, it's just like you really, you really insist you're right, especially if she's mad or if he's mad. That's the really, that's the really end of the putting hands on her, putting hands on him. Because if you too much upset, you become, you become, what do you call that? You become, huramentado. Huramentado. What's huramentado is? I don't know what's that in huramentado in English. So you cannot really control yourself for that. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, that's that's thing that you have to control yourself for that. Okay, so don't show that I'm so mad. If the, because there's some men also that your days they have a big mouth. Okay, they have a big mouth. But majority of in a couple situation, more women are very they have a big mouth or mouthing with their husband. But sometimes there's some husband also that that they very very well, we call that in Tagalog masyadong mabunganga. Okay, they're mounting with their wife. So especially if both are very angry or upset, do you think that it's gonna be a it's gonna be a good ending? No, it's not. It might, because sometimes men they cannot really control their emotions, so they have to put something or they break something. Some men are like that. Instead putting their hands to their wife, they might break the glass or plate, whatever they hold or whatever they can say. So avoid things that. So you just, we should control our emotion for that. We just manage our anger for that. So avoid. So like, just, just if, if your husband isn't, it's upset or anger. So especially for those, for those wife, don't, don't test your husband patient for that. So if you saw that, just, just calm down. Okay. Sometimes sometimes women are like, hey, no, 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 don't say that, we're not allowed, sometimes like that. We cannot really, we cannot really avoid that, especially for those black women. Oh no. Oh, are they gonna tell hell no? They will say hell no. Okay. Okay, so number 6 is Okay, so I'm not yet finished. So, okay, so I already buy. Okay, let me read it again. Avoid correcting in anger. Stop correcting your husband in anger, shouting, ranting, beating, making trouble. Never force your husband to the point to him that to fight back and protect himself from the rascal of your or act of yours. By doing okay that, you are like adding kerosene on the burning house. Instead, invite him for a walk, hold his hand, and talk about the problem. So you have to, okay, so if your husband is like that, you don't have to show anger towards the person has anger. So it's just like, just zip your mouth, let him cool. And then that's what they said, that invite him, go outside, or ask him what food he wants to eat. Okay, with with the pleasant tone of your voice. It's not the tone or the angry tone, because it will not work. Okay, even though you offer things like that, but the tone of your voice sounds angry, no, you avoid that. Okay, so number 9, don't compare him with any other man ever. Never ever. Not ever. Don't compare him with any other man. Never ever. Okay. So this is the thing that, of course, I'm gonna reverse that. For a husband also, don't compare your wife to your ex or whatever. Okay. So that's the one thing. Never compare, because even though that it's just like, you understand about the situation that they're no longer together, but it's just like, you're gonna if you're gonna if you're gonna remind about comparing, because for me, you cannot compare me. That's one thing also, that some people, they just compare me to another person. Oh, no, 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 you cannot, because I'm not really comfortable also. You cannot compare her to me, or you cannot compare him to me, because there's a certain things that he doesn't know that I know. There's a certain things that he knows that I it doesn't know me. I doesn't know at all. So you cannot compare. You cannot compare. There's a certain things that, okay, when it comes to skills, there's a certain skills that he never or she never know my skill at the same time. Okay, at the same time. So guys, avoid, because there's so much very common that, okay, that they comparing their ex, or their girlfriend. So please, if especially if you're married, avoid things that, even though it's not your intention, but avoid things that, oh, you're gonna tell me, I just I'm not really into that, my ex, I don't really bring that. I don't i don't because I don't really want to talk to him. I don't really want to talk what's the past that I had him before. I don't want. But sometimes we cannot really avoid, because sometimes there's a things that you have to discuss is similar happen with your ex. But as much as you can, don't bring it. Don't bring it. Okay, don't you see what your friend is doing? Can't you learn from the neighbor's husband? Can't you be like, the Cheska husband? Okay, so, or Susie husband, or can you be like Adam in the Garden of Eden, or like Samson or Solomon girl? Your husband is different when you come to point of doing this. Then remember the time when he's still courting you and why you choose him, and remember how are head over heels in the love with him. So just avoid things that you comparing. Okay, so the past is the past. Okay, as much as you can, don't bring it. What your experience happened to your ex-wife or your girlfriend, don't bring it. But sometimes men, they don't really understand that, even though their attention is just to tell their wife this is the situation. But in the other hand, we're not really comfortable to hear that, but we don't want to be rude or mean to your husband. We just listen. Number 10, never get back to the old issues. There is no reason why you need to get back to the old issue. Like, remember what you did before. I will never ever forget that. Blah, blah, blah. Once the issue are done and solved, okay, it should be totally erased in the memory. Never try to open a grave. Well-mannered women never do that. Stick to the present issues, discuss like adults, and move on. But sometimes, men and women cannot do that for themselves. They love to, okay, this is what you did, they always recall the past, especially if it's solved. It's just like you just give, even though that there's a certain disagreement, and once you keep moving, keep talking about the past, it's already solved, and then you keep digging that, you just give a reason to ignite the discussion. So avoid, guys, avoid. This is very common, guys. This is very common for men and women, or for husband and wife. That's very common, guys. Okay. So it's sad to say that, just a few people coming here, just, well, they don't really want to learn from that, because I hope that, I hope they will replay this so that they learn how to handle that. Because this is the things that I'm discussed, guys. This is real happen in our lives, especially for those couples. This is real talk, real happen to our daily lives. Okay, so number 11, excuse me. Number 11, don't attack his manhood and you call yourself man enough. Real men don't behave like this. You better change before I change you. This is very wrong. Don't do it. Ladies, we don't change men. If they want to change, they will change because of love. Don't try to be sculptor of water. For sure you can do that. Okay, so me, here's my thing. Here's my thing. It's just like, I really believe the especially for those couple, the personality of your husband, it's really shown how you treated him. As simple as that. Okay, that's the same thing also. The attitude of the wife, it really shows the husband how he treated his wife. Because here my thought process, you cannot, each of us has their own personality. Okay, well, let's say we have our own attitude. If you choose, to change that person, you cannot really change. But here's the thing, you can less that attitude, or you can list that personality by talking your man or by talking your woman. Okay. So you don't have to talk just to ignite the personality, it getting worse. So you have to talk to him or to talk to her so that she will less. Okay. It's just like, if you have illness, you have to do something that, the attack, the trigger of attack is often. So you have to do something that the attack is, you already have, you already illness for that. So the best thing that you can do is take some maintenance so that the attack will less. Same thing with the personality of your wife, same thing with the personality of your husband. Their personality, their attitude, it's still there no matter what. Okay, but you can less that personality or attitude from your husband by talking to them, or advise them that this is things that you gonna do, or this. So you have to listen that also. Sometimes people, they're not really listening of their husband or wife because of their ego. Ego. So number 12, don't attack his dignity. Give your husband a bunch of respect. Okay. So for those Western people, do you receive a bunch of respect with your Western wife? Let me know. So if you receive those bunch of respect with your Western wife, just drop your comment in this video and I would love to read that. Okay. But here in the Philippines, we Filipina, we always give respect to our husband. I'm not saying that our Filipino men are they're not anos, but they do some. They just anos, but it's just like, well, especially when it comes to split up. Okay, it's okay for us, to say something bad feelings towards them, but we're not really the type of woman that we know. Every time we remember that person, every time we saw that person, we just dragging their face on the ground. No, we don't. The first thing that we can do, we don't really want to talk. We already done. The damage is over. So we still have a respect for that, but we're not the really type of women that, okay, we just digging in, drag, the face of our man on the ground, that, you can sometimes, sometimes if you're really upset, you're gonna scrub their face until become their face is no longer recognized. We don't do that. Okay. Yeah, respect is that's very important to us. It doesn't really matter, guys, for a Filipino. I don't know for those, I know some other countries, they do have respect, but it's not as what we have here. So it doesn't really matter, for the relationship, for the elders, we also, younger people and older people, we deserve respect. Okay, so that's all matters. If you don't have enough respect for your husband, then you are not worth the respect of your children. I agree with that. Okay, because that's the thing that your children, their children, they know how. They don't really, they don't really often to discuss about what's they observe between the mother and father, but they really tells how your husband or how the wife treated them. So we don't want to end up that, our children will not have respect to your husband or to your wife. We avoid that. Okay. Oh, so I have two more discussion for that, and then that's okay. So 13, do not Do it in time of peace. Most wives do want to correct in the heat of their anger. At the height of the misunderstanding, when temper has already hit the roof. This is not the best time to correct. It will be yelled little or no result at all. Men is simple. They have to selective hearing. They can only hear in the low tone of their voice. Okay. So I really, I really clarify this. Not all men they have their own lower voice tone. Mm-mm. Some they do, some they're not. Okay. They will tell whatever want to say you. They don't really care if your neighbor will hear that. How they scolded, how they talk to their wife. Okay? Especially if you're not bring money to the house. As simple as that. Okay? So guys, for those women, not only here in the Philippines, all over the world, as much as you can, guys, find a job, make your own money, as simple as that. Some women also, they have, but like I said, that they said, because this is, this type of content is, I'm gonna refer to men, but I disagree. Not all men, they low their tone. Okay, they don't really give a S for that, especially if they know that you're nothing. They just say whatever they want to say on you. Okay? So guys, my advice is, especially for those Filipina wants to marry a Western man, make sure, guys, that you have your own money, and you can do things what you want, to make that money. And if there's things that you can still working, then don't quit your job. Don't quit your job. Okay, the last but not the least is give a helping hand. Oh, that's a big important. Work together for a good change. Start together. Try your best to help in your most seductive way. That will make her job easy and fast. He is the fixing broken leg of the table. Hand him the things he needs. Don't just stand and watch your husband like you are Egyptian pharaoh, mandating slaves and ready to give a whip when he makes a mistake. Okay, so yeah, that's a good thing, guys. That if there's something that like offer, no matter what, for wife, even though that that, oh, he can do this by himself, just stick on his side, offer things that it's just like to show that you're there, to help him, even though that, oh, he can able to do that by himself. Just stay on his side and offer something that you can help him to make the work more easier from him. Okay, so husband most of the time are doing great job. I agree with that. Appreciate yours and support him to be better husband and father. The real empowered woman is the one who knows to respect men. Okay, if you expect your husband to be a respectable king in your palace, then you should first create a respectful palace for him. So I really agree with that. Okay, so guys, so I already done. I already done with my live streaming today, but just this is sad to say, guys, just a few people, just a few people coming on my live stream today. So yeah, that's one thing. So, and this is what I notice when I go on the go live, there's a lot of people. So maybe I stop doing this on the live stream. But you know what, guys? I love to do this on the live streaming because I give a chance to for those people wants to join on my live streaming. So again, any question, guys, for those three people on the live chat? And this is what I notice. This is what I notice when I go to my when I go to my go live on my YouTube. There's a lot of people coming there. Why? It's better. Guys. I have uh suggestion. It's better. Especially the host that wants to share the link and wants will come on the live stream. It's good also for me because especially me, I love to go on the live stream. To especially if there's things that there's a deep discussion. I love also to share my opinion about that, so that sometimes we gonna open the eyes for those people that they're still in denial thing. So that's a good thing. But sometimes I have to go on the live stream that as same as I do, because I love sharing my thought and opinions about discussion. But sad to say that uh, they're more into the updating what's going on surround them. They're more into the gossip thing. So they're not really into the the to become aware of the situation, especially this type of discussion, guys. That okay, that some when they read it, oh, it's not really good, to correcting your husband without hurting their egos, because at the first place there's another guy that actually this subject I already opened this last week, but it's just like few people coming, so I just prefer to go to the live streaming so that they can able to go on my live panel so that they can express, because sometimes it's so hard to express your feelings, express your opinion just typing, so it's not really enough. So that's why I open this topic so that people will really will really comment about this is, so that people will understand, okay, this is the point that he wants to but nobody is coming. So and then there's a guy tells that, and then he said that don't spoil. No, it's not the thing that it is don't spoil. Okay, don't spoil. So you have to talk certain things that's what I discuss, the ways to correct your husband without hurting their ego, vice versa. Okay. Because I don't know, I'm not really into that. They do things that it's not really just, I want a deep discussion, because so that this is what I notice. A lot of us there, we don't really have into the creative mind. Okay, creative mind. It's just we program, we program. A lot of us program of doing such thing like in YouTube. There's a certain music. There's a dance craze that people program to do that, to do that. But for me, we can still dance with our own. This is how you dance. I have some few shorts video that I just do a little move dance, but I never get that from other from other dance craze trending. So I just do that for myself because this is the way, the move that I want. This is the way, the move that I enjoy, moving my body like that. So I'm not really into that. So it is what it is. So once again, I really appreciate for those, for those people come on my live stream. Thank you guys, huh? Thank you, thank you. Lawless World. I don't know if you're here, Lawless World. So I really appreciate your, your time here, Lawless World. So once again, so I'm gonna do this, my this one. Okay, so once again, guys, thank you so much and have a good day to everyone. Bye.